Hello, my name is Adriana Notoboom, and in this final chapter of Lead 641 through Bethel University with Dr. Janine Parlini, I would like to address an ethical plan for the High School of St. Thomas More in Champaign, Illinois. The school holds several ethical strengths as it is. On a daily basis, they handle issues that are brought to attention very well. When a student faces discrimination, the administration quickly deals with it and the students involved. Then they will alert teachers via email to keep their ears open for any other issues that may arise. If a student expresses a legitimate concern about a teacher picking on them specifically, it will be looked into. However, it is rare that a true concern is raised. Oftentimes what will happen is a student that acts out in class will say a teacher is picking on them repeatedly, when in reality, it's their behavior that they consistently have to be corrected for that's drawing them out. Research shows that communicating ethical values aids in reducing ethical problems. One such means of formal communication is through the mission statement of an organization. Looking at the mission statement of the High School of St. Thomas More, we can see in the middle where the ethical standard is addressed. The High School of St. Thomas More exists to assist parents in forming students spiritually, morally, intellectually, and physically in a Christ-centered atmosphere of love, respect, and reverence consistent with the teachings of the Roman Catholic Church, sending them forth to fulfill their baptismal call as His disciples in the world. We can see that our students are supposed to come into a place that is Christ-centered with love, respect, and reverence, consistent with the teachings of the Church, which means it is ethical and preserves human dignity. Another thing the school does well is supporting the teachers. They provide encouragement based on strengths seen during the evaluations, such as saying, this is what you're good at, and here's how that can be improved even more. As Ross states, another way to bolster a direct report's psychological capital is to focus on an area of his performance where he has already demonstrated competence. If you start with what he is good at, says Avolio, you can leverage that strength for greater gains. In addition, they acknowledge success through shoutouts in the morning announcements, small gift cards for helping out, and weekly newsletter shoutouts. It's also a healthy environment for teachers to ask questions and seek support. Although the school operates very well under its ethical values, there is still room for improvement. There is currently a desperate need to increase the pay rate for faculty to be the same as the other schools in the diocese. In Champaign, the other schools, known as our feeder schools, make $5,000 more as starting teachers than what teachers at St. Thomas More are making. This means that the covenantal duties on the end of the diocese are not being fully honored. We're taking our jobs, we're doing our best that we can, yet the diocese is not paying us the same as their other schools. Caldwell and Carey state, covenantal duties operate within a framework of virtue ethics in which there is congruence between business and the public good and the individual interest. In this case, we see the interest lying with the diocese rather than with its employees. Top-down communication of why the diocese allows this difference would help to settle teachers on the subject. Additionally, looking at the situation through a human resources frame rather than a political frame would give the situation the proper perspective. Education tends to operate politically, but if the diocese shifted their perspective towards a human resource one, they would see where this change would actually benefit them as well. Because under the Bowman and Deal standards for developing and implementing a human resources philosophy, it's important to hire the right people, which has been done. They've got good people in their staff. However, they're not able to keep their employees because of their low pay grade. Teachers are often shifting out of that environment into one that's going to pay better and be more supportive for their family. Additionally, we're not rewarded well. We aren't compensated for the amount of work that we do. And our jobs are not protected and secured because they shifted a few years ago from doing contractual employment like most teachers to at-will employment, which means we can leave when we want, but they can also kick us out when they want. So our jobs are not even secured through the school year. Making these changes would benefit the diocese because they would keep employees longer and there would be a more insecure and happy work environment in the school. In conclusion, it's very difficult as a teacher to make a lot of ethical changes within my organization, especially one that's governed by a large religious entity. There's not much we can do but whine or complain to the administrators and try to push change that way, aside from everybody taking off a day of school and going to the diocese and demanding higher pay. But if I were an administrator, I would continue to address student issues as soon as they arise. I would communicate the ethics of the school more openly and frequently to the students in a way that makes sense to them. And I would ensure fair pay for my teachers that matches the standards of the feeder schools. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation.